everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lydia here with your new moon in Sagittarius readings. So we are going to start by, I'm just going to let you know which decks I'm going to be reading from this time around. We've got The Soul's Journey by James Van Praagh and the Moonology deck, which I usually draw from anyways, by Yasmin Boland. So we're going to go right ahead and actually get right into this, because at this time, the new moon is, for this November, is basically on the 23rd at around 4:57 Central Time. So because I live in the north part of Canada, then basically that's the time I'm using. It is a very interesting, iconic time. This is basically the energies are just ramping up like crazy at this particular time. So we're going to get right into it. So we're going to start off with the Moonology deck. And I've picked one card. As usual, I've picked all the cards, but I haven't looked at them. So we're going to look at them together. So the card I have is Don't Let Your Pride Get in Your Way, Full Moon in Leo. And this is interesting, I think, because when we think about being, having your pride and basically just thinking about what emotions you have that could be overwhelming and overtaking you, this is one of those times to just release the emotion, just let it go. You might have to discern what kind of emotions are coming into you and what you want to say to people. But that's what this is saying is basically don't let your ego kind of come into play. Give the other person the benefit of the doubt at the same time too. So we're going to look at the full moon in Leo and see what it says in the card deck. Like I always say, I always like to look at the card deck or the guidebook, because it always has something that might be attributed to something that might resonate with one person more than another. So we're going to read this. Don't let your pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Have you been letting your pride become an obstacle? Is the question you're asking based on your ego, or is it from your heart? Leo energy is all about the heart. Think of the big-hearted king of the jungle, the lion. Its energy is magnificent, but when it's combined with the rush of the full moon, it can become over the top. This card may have come to you because you need to end a deadlock that has developed. More love and thoughts for the greater good are the solution to this dilemma. If you've been doing as you would be done by lately, this is the time to find a balance between your own needs and the needs of the people around you. This will help all of your relationships. So attuning to the moon, be magnificent without being plain too much. Additional meanings for this card: self-esteem is good, vanity is not. Everyone is equally important. Creative urges should be followed, work some magic, and a friendship may be ending now. I'm going to basically just touch on this before I go into the teaching part. Excuse me if I cough, I'm just getting rid of a cold. When I think of this, I'm thinking about not just one person, not just an individual, but I'm thinking about a global situation. This is a time to be kind to others, not only, and actually, even that much more, to be kind to yourself, to let go of guilt, of heated emotions towards yourself and towards others, and just being as you are. It's a good time also for good projects, for doing different projects and being creative. So in that sense, be creative with your self-love and self-care, knowing that self-care will always set you in a better position to be caring to others. It's important to care for yourself. And at this time, we're really looking at care for self before caring for others. I know it sounds really strange, especially for mothers or for fathers. We're caring for our children or for anyone else that is around us, a loved one. This is where self-care is extremely important at this time, because you can't be your full self and give your full all to someone else before giving yourself something. It's like literally working on empty. So this is an important time period. When you do that for yourself, when you are able to give yourself self-care and you top yourself up with energy, you are better able to be patient, to tolerate others in whatever capacity. And right now I'm thinking about driving. So, if you're driving in a car, that you're able to tolerate different situations that would normally make you angry or upset. You're also able to handle any challenging issues or situations or relationship issues when you have taken care of yourself. This is very important. So I think this is coming through once and for all. Our ego always kind of gets in the way and lets us know that, you know what, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. You can't do this and you won't do that. It tells you the opposite of basically what you should be doing. But it's not a bad thing. The ego is always there to help you to discern situations and for your safety. So it's not that you want to brush it aside. You just want to listen to it, but also do what your intuition tells you. When I look at this and it says that self-esteem is good, but vanity is not, it's saying, okay, ego, let's push you aside for now, recognizing that you have the capability of increasing your confidence and self-esteem just by giving yourself self-care. It's just being with yourself. Everyone is equally important. And this is where the patience comes in and the tolerance, because of the fact that it's not just yourself, it's globally. If you find that you have a strong opinion towards someone else, you may not, you may have to discern it, and you will better discern what it is that you say. If you want to say something to someone, you'll better discern what you want to come out of your mouth, what you want coming out of your mouth, if you are in self-care. And this just means doing some things that you want to do for yourself, that you want to do, being creative about it, maybe taking up dancing or taking up some creative project that you maybe have started before or had actually thought about before, but you never started. This is the time to do it. And know that these things would be successful as well, just because of the energies that are coming at this time. The astrological influences right now actually promote really getting into successful businesses, going forward on creative projects or relationships, and staying the while with the relationships at this particular time. Creative urges should be followed, work some magic, and that's where at this time you may be given opportunities that you might have to also look at as something, whether it's for a business, job proposition, entrepreneurial things, or even a relationship, just a quest for a relationship. These all could definitely be a possibility at this particular time, just because of the energies coming in. On the flip side, where this says a friendship may be ending now, relationships are dynamic. And at this time, they are extremely dynamic. They're going to be very dynamic right into the spring of next year. So my thought is that it's a bright time. It's a great time for you to be able to do things that you want to do to move forward in a business, in a relationship, in your in is something that you're pursuing, that you're in and that you're already pursuing. But it's also a time for self-care. So you have to find that balance. And that's the thing that's coming out here. Is that compassionate part is being compassionate towards yourself as well as others, and finding the balance between work and relationship and love and like whatever is in your life right now, a balance, a work-life balance. So it says basically for the teaching, it says when the full moon comes into Leo, it can be a wonderfully bright time where people feel more confident to show the world their talents and assets. So take note, though, that the combination, the Leo full moon combination creates a sort of tension between your needs and the needs of the people in your networks. So Leo full moon is a time to release pride. It is one of those things too, is that you have to set your boundaries. this is where the self-care comes in, and the balance is that you have to set your boundaries as to how much you want to give to others, as well as how much you want to be able to take for yourself, just because you need to keep that cup nice and level. You don't want to be running on empty and trying to work on other people and being of service to other people if you yourself need your cup full, or at least somewhat filled in order to do that. So let's move on to the next couple of cards. We've got one card here called failure. Ooh, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. This is wonderful too, just because, again, with the astrological influences, and I see that these influences are going to last right up until the spring. So if they're amping up right now, I believe, and we're going to see some interesting things globally. But we're also going to see some interesting movement in our own lives. And that is basically for spiritual development. Right now, I think we are on an upward rocket in spiritual development. And that is spiritual gifts that we have, things that are coming to us, things that we'll find in our dreams, new insights and intuition that might start to come about, downloads from where, like from the universe, basically telling us what is coming next. The clarity is going to start to get more and more clear, because at certain times we've been in a fog. So failure, when I look at this word, the first thing that comes to mind, it's like a very derogatory word. But basically what this just simply means is any challenges that you have in your life, you know that these are perfect opportunities as a learning opportunity, because we are all basically running an education. We are educating ourselves by going through these challenging situations, dealing with the emotions that go with them. The trick is to take that emotion, learn from it, but then let any type of negative emotions that you might have go, and use those positive emotions that you have, like literally for manifesting something that you really, really want. So let's look into failure. And it says that, as I understand, that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn, and see what James has to say about the more of the failure part. So life on Earth is full of experiences. It is our human brain that views outcomes as good or bad. The soul simply views them as chances to grow. Learn to see the big picture of life instead of the minutiae. Failure to accomplish a task is merely the opportunity to evolve, and the negative connotation for the word failure can prevent you from trying again. You must come to the realization that there is no judgment involved with your soul's lessons. Realize that what you view as a failure is just your soul telling you that there is another path. Embrace the maxim, when one door closes, another one opens. It is a time for you to stop any negative emotional investment you have in an outcome, or in the outcome. Revel in the knowingness that everything will reveal itself when it is meant to. No matter what, be true to your dream and the creative process. This is perfect for anyone who is doing something that they've wanted to do, but they've run into some snafus here and there. And actually this works and resonates with me very well. If you've come to a particular time period where you've worked really hard on something, but you realize that it didn't go anywhere, you maybe submitted it for something or whatever, and it didn't go anywhere, or somehow it was critiqued very, very strongly, this is a perfect opportunity for you to revisit this and realize that maybe there's some editing to do, whether it's in a relationship, because this could also be for a relationship too. If you've approached a relationship, whether it's your partner, spouse, or just a relationship that you're interested in, and you've approached it and you've gotten rejected and somehow, or you've gotten into an argument or something of that sort, approach it by, again, one of those non-ego oriented approaches, by thinking about it a little bit first. Realize where's the emotion coming from. Know that if there is a roadblock that in whatever it is that you're discussing, or the relationship itself, there is a reason for it. And it's because either there's something better coming for you, or a new circumstance will present itself so that it irons things out into a better scenario. So this is basically saying as well, when one door closes, another one opens. This is so true. I mean, the universe basically does bring something even that much better for you. And if you are not, privy to this, then all you have to do, if you run into a situation like this, is ask your guides, ask the universe for help in a situation. Especially if you ask the universe why, the universe is literally going to say, well, it's just because we know that there's something better coming for you. Why is irrelevant. So instead of asking for why, ask the universe for the best outcome for yourself and for the good of all. And you will find that whatever manifests comes out in the best and most unorthodox kind of situation that you could ever think of. You may not have ever thought of the outcome. The other thing too is, do not attach yourself to an outcome. That's what this says. If you have something, for example, you've got a book that you're writing and you submit it to a publisher and it gets rejected, then and you're of course heartbroken, but at the same time realizing that there's a reason for that. Maybe you have to go over a few things. Maybe that publisher would have taken advantage of you, because they do sometimes, you never know. There could be a better scenario. If you submit it and you're expecting to be accepted, then that is kind of looking at the outcome as, this is what's going to happen. Don't adhere to the outcome, because the universe has something better in store for you. So let's look at the last card that we have here. Sorry, I laugh at this because we've got don't let the pride get in your way, which is fine. That's great. Failure, and then death. So I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Now, this is not to scare you. Okay, this is not to scare you. This is basically to say, and especially the card, the color of the card deals with the root. It's a root, I'd say root and sacral chakra, which is the first two chakras in the body system. We've got, and that's the base of the spine, as well as just behind the belly button. When we deal with these two chakras, we're looking at basically the earth, what's around us, grounding, and knowing that death is not the end of things. Now, this is something that, again, it's a belief system. I'm going to just throw it out at you and just see what you think, okay? I believe that death is just a transition. And this is people death, okay? This is anything, object, like basically a person or an animal or of that, anything of that sort. Basically, I believe that what dies or what goes away is still there. It is transmuted into a different form and is still within the environment. It could even be in a different dimension or in a different vibration, so that you cannot see it with your physical eyes. Now, on the flip side of this, death also means transition. And so whenever I see this, it makes me realize that it is the endings of one thing and the beginning of another. And if you think about it, this definitely has a global interest. It has a global understanding of basically that things that are being dropped at this particular time, that are going away, that are not sticking around as they used to. It is for a good cause, because we needed a change. It's a transition to something better, and eventually better. We'll have to go through the uncomfortableness of change first. So let's look at what James says about death. Death is an illusion. It's a fact of life that the human body we use to travel the earth must eventually stop working. It's not meant to exist forever. The energy and consciousness that inhabited that body is free and returns to its natural home, but it never abandons us. Learn to view death as merely a change, and everything must change because stagnancy extinguishes progress. Now, that is a beautiful line. Stagnancy extinguishes progress. The same is true for a relationship or a career. A soul lesson may be completed, and it is time to move beyond this point of familiarity and expand into new horizons of learning and development. This is a wonderful opportunity to thank those other souls in your life who have shared part of your path and taught you so much. It's, you know what? A lot of times we take our relationships or take people for granted. And it is a wonderful opportunity to be in a state of gratitude and thank them and tell them that you love them whenever you can. And actually make the extra effort to do it, especially at this time where it's more of a celebratory time period. Sagittarius brings a lot of celebration, especially at this particular time, just, for holidays. But this is, I foresee that there will be a lot of death with regards to systems breaking down, changing. There might be a lot of pushback as well, and expect that, just because change can be extremely uncomfortable, and sometimes, depending upon who it comes from, change is, and especially the intention is not in truth, then change can be momentous for actually bringing in people's ability to fight for their rights and fight for the truth. And that is a good thing too. Chaos is crazy at this particular time, but look past it, look through it. There's, like I said, there may be also this may also pertain to people and animals that are deciding to leave this world at this particular time, as things are changing and vibrations are raising on this planet, that it may be their time, but at the same time, be happy for these people and for these animals, because they are going home. They're going home and they get a new set of rules, and then they get to come back with a different contract. And this is, again, what I believe. It might be woo-woo, but basically it's what I believe. So it's an interesting reading. I find that it's reminding you to take in the self-care and remember that you have the power to make your decisions and to create the reality that you want, also by managing ego and managing your work, relationship, home situation, balancing it in a nice harmonious way. Excuse me. To also look at any perceived failures or challenges or setbacks that may occur because of whatever reason as an opportunity to learn and to edit your path, because you can do this as you create your reality. And lastly, that we are going through, all of us, individually and globally, we are going through a huge transition right now. And not only are we going through it physically, emotionally, and mentally, we are going through this spiritually like no one's business. We are moving ahead in a spiritual capacity to a place that we have never, ever, ever looked at before. And it can be different, it can be uncomfortable, but it can also be extremely blissful. Look at it. It depends, again, how you look at it, how you perceive it. I'm looking at it in the most wonderful way possible. So, and I urge you to do the same. So I hope that this helps you in some way. This is a new moon reading, so this is basically for change. So what do you want to see in the new cycle? This is a lot of things that could be coming to an end, a completion, but also the beginnings of something new. Again, that's what is said in that last card. So what do you want to see? Write some things down and see where this goes. Throw it up to the universe and tell your guides, this is what I'm looking for. So I hope that this is a good new moon for you and that it's starting off a wonderful new cycle. And I also wanted to just mention that I will be having my new 6-month 2023 reading. So it's the first 6 months from January until June, coming up in the beginning of December. So watch for that on the channel. So thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a lovely new moon, and we will see you in the next video. Take care and bye for now.